All right, so this is my final project for Java. I decided to create a tool that could select a certain type of file. In this case, it's going to be PNG files in a folder and grab all of those and then resize them into a set parameters. Um, so you see here, um, this is the GUI that I use for the project. You would start at number one, you would browse and go through your computer to pick the folder that has the files you'd want to use. Checkbox for recursion, so that would pick every subfolder in the initial folder that you chose. Then you get to choose the resize width, the resize height, and then what you want to name, add to the name of the file for the suffix. So in this case, we just put dash thumb for a thumbnail, and then you can click preview. No, this button actually won't start at preview. This is the general action button, which will change at each step of the process. Before I go any further and explain it, I'm going ahead and run it so you can see it happening. Takes a minute. All right, here we go. So browse, desktop, my final project tester, and then open. We'll do all subfolders, 200, 200, change the name to a suffix with thumb, and then first button's initialize, and then it's agent initialize preview, and it'll show down here the text output, what it had scanned, and then it found 6 files with the correct extension, and then you click go. So after you click go, then it'll say that it'll found the existing files and renamed them and sized them to with the thumb. And then if you go to the folder, these are the originals right here, and then these are the new ones with the new sizes. And then the subfolder, it also did the same thing. These were the two original, and then the new ones that have the thumb attached to it for the suffix. Now, the way with the way I set up the button to be able to have different states, basically, that was how each state, like preview, if I, whoops, double click here, it shows you the code for the which code to run when it's in preview, and then so the code for each state starts with the initializer, and then we have preview and go, which are the 3 stages of the button. Initially, I tried to do this with if statements, but after doing research online, I found using the controller with enumerations made a lot more sense. Here's where the enumerations are that matches the code, init, preview, and go. So we had to do multiple classes for this project, and you've seen the UI tool with the user input, and then now I'm going to show you um, the controller. The controller is basically the glue that holds together the UI and the resizer agent. If we go to the resizer agent, oops, let's see, you have all the inputs from the UI, and here are where it's going to check the validity of the input from the user. So for example, the user can't choose to set the width or the height less than 50. If that happens, then it's going to throw an exception and it won't allow you to continue. Then preview mode is where it's going to give an array list of all the files that it found that meet the parameters. And when you run it, it's going to show you in the text box what files those are that it chose and how many of them it chose. Here's where the method is for getting the files. I have a couple filters in here. The directory filter to go into the folder, and then the PNG filter, which is going to pull the files that have the extension .png, which are the files that we're using, and then it's going to log those and create an array list of all of those files that match, and then the recurse is going to go into the subfolders of those directories if you click the box to do that. And then this method is going through all the files that match, and it's going to resize them and rewrite them into a new file for each one of whatever the user decided to set the parameters to.